than the men. But as you can see, I haven't missed very many meals. So anyway, preacher's at the table, and they're all eating, and my older brother and I were off in the bedroom and kind of looking around the corner. And Dad passed the platter of chicken to the preacher and asked the preacher, said, "You want some of this chicken?" And the preacher said, "Yeah, I believe you'll have a portion." Well, I'm about so high. My older brother, he's a little higher than me, and standing there next to him. And I said, "How much is a portion? How much is a portion?" He looks around the corner, and he looks back at me, and he said, "I think it's about all of it." So anyway, I left home when I just turned 16. I had all the answers. About 10 years later, I found out I didn't even know what the questions were. And I don't know if y'all been there or not, but it's not pleasant. My dad and mom got an education during that 10 years. I don't know how they got to be so smart. But I went to different churches, and I tried to prove my dad wrong. And he said, "Just prove me wrong." And I tried every way I could. I mean, I dug in the scriptures, and I tried every way I could, and I could not prove that man wrong. And it was a very humbling experience to admit something like that. To find out about my case with the federal prison in Leavenworth, you can go to www.prisonsongs, plural, songs.com. And on that webpage, it'll tell about my situation with the federal bureau of prisons. I was a member of the church before I pled to a misdemeanor, but anyway, you'll need to read this on the webpage to get the rest of it. I want to tell you about this blind man that went into Walmart, and he's got a seeing eye dog with him. And he gets in Walmart, and he gets his dog up, gets it by the tail, and he's swinging the dog around and around and around. Here comes the manager and grabs him, and the assistant manager grabs the dog, and the man falls down, and they get everything back up, and says, "What are you doing?" And the blind man gets up, and he said, "Oh, just looking around." And that's how I've been here. This is my first workshop to be at. That's bad. This is my first workshop to be at. And I had an invitation to go to Cincinnati last year, but the PO wouldn't let me go. So I learned some new language. PO means probation officer. I don't know if y'all bad people or something, but anyway, he wouldn't let me go. And so I had to tell a brother in Cincinnati that I couldn't make it. And then in Arkansas, a couple of years ago, I was in a halfway house. Rick Watson of Arkansas does great work over there. He invited me to be a part of the state jail and prison workshop there. And then the halfway house told me I couldn't eat lunch with them. Now I thought, what is wrong with these people I'm associating with? No, I can't eat lunch with them, can't go to Cincinnati. I thought, well, I don't know. But anyway, I finally got all that over with. You know that last year there was an over 200% increase in the number of women incarcerated. Over 200% increase in the number of women incarcerated. The justice system is the biggest employer in the world. In the world. We have more people, pro rata, incarcerated than any other country, and it's getting bigger. We're building prisons right and left. We're taking money away from our military, which weakens our position in the world to remain free so that we can worship as we want to worship. And we're taking that money away and building more prisons. And we cannot keep doing that. We have got to put Christians in Washington. That's what we've got to do. I know that we need to kind of keep our fingers out of that and walk this walk over here, but I'm telling you right now that if we don't do this, currently 1 of every 11 men between the ages of 20 and 30 are incarcerated. 1 of every 11. If there were 110 boys in your high school graduating class, 10 of those are in prison right now, between the ages of 20 and 30. The way it's going, in 40 years, 4 of every 5 men between the ages of 20 and 30 will be in prison. 4 of every 5. By the government, U.S. government's own statistics, approximately 10% of all those incarcerated are innocent. With over 2 million in jail, another 4 million on paper probation. That's over 600,000 people innocent. because they wouldn't testify against somebody that they didn't know, or because they wouldn't give up somebody when they didn't know anything about them, and they kept their integrity, or something that anyway, they are in prison, innocent of those charges. We're all guilty of sin. You know, and I disagree with the Apostle Paul. He said he is the chief of sinners. I think I am. That's the only thing I can disagree with the whole deal. I know that by the grace of God, I'm allowed to be here today. When I was in Leavenworth, there was a cement walkway around the fence. Get out and you see inmates walking around that fence. I used to wonder what they was thinking and talking about. I know what most of them thinking and talking about. See, I'd walk that fence and I'd try to make a deal with God. Lord, if you'll let me out here, I'll do better. You know, and take this sentence I've already done and apply it to all my past wrongs. See, now I'm down to 2 minutes. I can't even close in 2 minutes. So I'm walking this fence and I'm trying to make a deal with God. I'm trying to bargain. Hey, all my past sins, we'll let this go for that and let me out. Well, the next day, I got a new deal. Hey, you didn't take that deal yesterday. I got a new deal for you today. If you'll get me out of here today, I'll promise I'll do this and this and this. You know, it took days and days and weeks to get to where I was not trying to barter. And just like the New Testament says, don't add to it or delete from it. He laid out the plan, and that's the plan. Well, my mother used to tell me to go get a switch off of that fence row up there, and I knew exactly what was going to happen. I went and got this switch one day, and I thought, well, how can I keep this from hurting? So I broke the switch in 2 places, and then I turned it upside down when I handed it to her so she would notice it was broke. And she reared back, grabbed me by the shirt collar, and hit me with that switch, and when she did, the end of that switch went back and hit her in the back. Boy, she throwed that switch down and slapped me so hard. I don't know how many of y'all ever been to Kingdom Come, but I'm going to tell you I want to say this. In the justice system, I don't think it's fair that a young man caught with 2 marijuana cigarettes gets a 10-year prison sentence. And another man sodomizes a 6-year-old girl and he gets 4 months home confinement. I think there's a great disparity there. I think our economic disparity is causing a lot of our problems. And it all comes out of Washington. We just got to get people up there who put Christ in their lives. In the past, and I hate to use the personal pronoun reference I just don't know any other way to say it. I had the International Bass Fishing Association and Bass News Magazine, Music Country News publication, and I'm working on American News Journal. Hopefully it'll hit the streets November 1st. And I can't do this alone. I really need all y'all's help. I need suggestions and ideas. And it's going to production cost for 100,000 of them. And each, according to statistical, that each magazine on the streets is reviewed by 3.4 people. So 100,000 of these will be seen roughly by about 340,000 people. What a great evangelistic tool with a Christian slant to the editorial. So I really need y'all's help. I'm going to be out at the table with the CDs and cassettes, and I appreciate this opportunity so much. I just think y'all just do such good work. And Joe George, I met him at Leavenworth, and one of the songs on the CD is talks about Bible study Friday night, man, in the Church of Christ. I know how important that is. I've been there, done that. I did not get the t-shirt there.